Hi, April here, and I wanted to cover deodorant. It's something, as ladies, usually we don't talk about or like to talk about a whole lot because I think it might go back to we don't like to stink and we don't like to sweat. But deodorant is really important, and I really didn't understand the whole impact deodorant has on our lives until pretty much I joined Lemongrass, and then I had a coworker diagnosed with breast cancer, and that also opened up my eyes a little bit more because she didn't have any family history of breast cancer, and from that I found out that only about 10% of all cancers is hereditary. The rest is environmental. So that comes from what we put on our bodies, what we put in our bodies, and everything else that's kind of around us. So it is kind of smart to educate yourself a little bit and learn. And what I found is little changes over time make a huge difference. So there's hope, don't worry. So back to our deodorant and why that is kind of important. There's tons of lymph nodes in that area, and our armpits are designed to sweat to let out toxins. That's the way the body's normally supposed to function. When you use a, like say, store-bought deodorant or an antiperspirant, it typically has aluminum in it. Aluminum clogs the pores, so you don't get that wetness. Well, what that also does is it keeps all of those toxins in, and your body can't release them. So with natural deodorant, you're looking for aluminum-free. You also want to look for paraben-free. Parabens have been tied to various things, including cancer. They're known hormone disruptors. So again, with those lymph nodes there, we don't want to be disrupting them. Oh, and then aluminum too. There has been some research tying that back to Alzheimer's. And then my sister-in-law actually told me she was in a biology class in college, and the cadavers' pits were actually a silver color because of all of the aluminum that was still in their pits. So that's kind of scary. I get sidetracked, so let's get through this. All right, so this is my favorite. This is our deodorant paste. I was a little weary about the paste because I was like, I don't want to paste it on my armpits, but it's really not that bad once you get the hang of it. And this jar lasts quite a while. The jar itself is $10, and I'll admit I was paying probably $8 to $10 on store-bought stuff, and it didn't last nearly as long as this. This jar is gonna last you probably a good 4 months or longer. I know some people actually will share it with their husband, and that's the nice thing is because you're applying it yourself, you can share a jar. So with a stick, you don't really want to be sharing, right? So I'm just using, this is a craft stick here, to just give you an example of how much you're going to apply. So that's it. I say about a pea size per pit is all you need, and there's a couple different ways you can apply it. So you can rub it in between your fingers, warm it up, and then apply it that way. Or it comes with this little spatula, and you can use this spatula and apply it. Big tip is when you first get this jar is to stir it all up, because the baking soda and the shea butter that's in there can separate during shipping. So you stir it up and you get a creamy paste. And so it's really soft. You apply it on there, and that little bit will last all day. Now, when you first transition over to natural deodorant, it may not last all day because your body does have to adjust and kind of release a lot of that stuff that's up there hanging out, hidden because it's trapped inside. So a few tricks I have learned over time is our spray. You can spray that on prior, and you can use it in the afternoon as a refresher. Some people can use just the spray and not have to use the paste, and they're fine, but everybody is different. And the thing is we have an amazing 60-day exchange policy, so we work through it and we find out what works for you. Our Healing Elements Balm. This stuff is amazing to put on before applying the paste, or it can be used on its own as a deodorant. I will mention there's some days I run out of the house and I forget deodorant. I have this in my purse and it is always going on the pits on those days I forget. And the only thing with this is I have to reapply in the afternoon. Otherwise, it totally works as deodorant. Other trick I learned is as I switched over to natural deodorant, and from some feedback from friends that were switching, is our body polish. It's a sugar scrub. Scrubbing the pits really helped. Not really sure why, but it helped. And then the other thing is this is amazing if you use that and then shave. Oh, shaving my pits was like, I hated it. And now it's a lot better with this. So that's just an added extra fun thing there. We do have a discontinuing stick. This is a more traditional stick that we're used to. But it is going to be limited availability because we are switching to a new stick that will be available sometime in August, and that is phthalate-free fragrance, and it won't have baking soda. So that's coming soon. So it's one of those things, but I will mention, like, this paste stands up to a lot of stuff. I was using anywhere from the clinical strength to actual prescription stuff for my pits. So I've switched over. I've been using this for well over a year, and I actually think I sweat less. So it's doable. I'm here. I work with you to get through the process. And that's the other thing is some people, they switch and have no issues at all. So everybody's different, and we work through it, and I'm happy to answer any questions. Thanks for checking it out, guys.